I can't see anything. I can't see. Wait, you guys look terrific. I didn't get the dress code memo. Obviously, I did not get the dress code memo. Let me try that again. Soundtrack. Anyway, I didn't get the dress code memo, but I'm happy to be here and happy to represent beautiful people in the audience. A lot of beautiful. Wow, you guys are dressed a lot better than me, so it's beautiful people in the audience. Anyway, hi. Well, let's get this turned around again. Okay, hi. Yeah, we didn't work on that long. Okay, so my name's Don Jones. I cheered with Chet in 78, 79, and I am thrilled to be his friend for many decades later. And I and a bunch of people out here in the audience and the rest of us, we had a team that put together this event. It's to celebrate, and anyway, it's to celebrate. So getting me off the stage is a good step. So the first thing is I want to introduce our MC for today's program. He has years of coaching in the NCAA and NBA basketball, but even with all his success on and off the court, he would really like to be known as someone who helps out team building, personnel building, and all the rest of that with at-risk children and underserved communities, neighborhoods, and families. He's a leader, a motivator, a huge involvement with the San Diego's Jackie Robinson YMCA over decades and decades. You might start early. Anyway, there's a recent article in the UT about prevention of violence, and he was assistant coach to Smokey Gaines, and he's got a real name. Chet would just call him, "Hey coach, hey coach." Anyway, but for you today, I am pleased where I can get off the stage, the guy in charge, present the amazing Michael Booker. Oh.
Yeah, don't forget that.
Yeah, don't forget the headpiece.
No
yeah.
trip hazard.
Trip hazard.
First off, I want to remind everybody we are live right now, streaming live with the Sons of Montezuma. So let's give them a big hand right now. So I want you to imagine that you're in the A house right now. Something exciting is happening because we're here today to celebrate the life. No, we're here to celebrate the beautiful life of Chet Carney. And so everything that you're going to hear today, everything that you're going to see should hopefully really put you in a position to tell that story to those that may not know Chet. Because if you did know him, you could tell a lot, couldn't you? Absolutely. And some of you may get a chance to tell those stories later in the program, but we do have a pretty tight program right now. But when we do, the Sons of Montezuma will put this link up, as they always do, on YouTube, and I want you to share it with the Aztec Nation. Can we all agree to do that? Amen. Put your hands together for Chet. And I'd be remiss, too, if I didn't start by thanking everybody that had a hand in putting this together. Let's give them all a big hand right now. Now, if you've ever heard that song played, if you've ever heard it, for me, 7 years, I mean, that was, my office was the sports arena. You're laughing. You remember, don't you? Who remembers the sports arena? Put your, look around. A lot of people do remember that. We never had Viejas. We didn't have that. So we actually had to play some games in Peterson Gym. Who remembers Peterson? Yeah. I know Gene Lamke. Where's Gene Lamke? Yeah, Gene Lamke, he taught rec classes over at Peterson for many years. So many great faces here, but we're here with today all about gratitude for a wonderful human being, because we know Chet was more than just Aztec for life. He was just more than the dancing Aztec. He was, look around the room. How many of you saw something here you just did not know about Chet Carney? Yes, he crocheted. He did a number of things. He climbed mountains. He did so much. But we're here to give gratitude to him. And what's really beautiful about Chet is he is homegrown. Crawford High School, are you in the house? Stand up if you went to Crawford High School. We want to acknowledge you. And remain standing if you went to school with Chet, or played football with Chet, or cheered with Chet at Crawford High School. There's a couple of you in here. All right, good job. So then he went on to San Diego State, and he did get a degree. You know some of you didn't graduate. But Chet got a degree. Yes, he did. But then they made him, he was on the cheerleader. He actually did something called a yell leader. Have you ever heard of that? A yell leader. Well, he was the yell leader because he could do what? Yeah. Yes, he could. Could Chet yell? Yes, he could. And you could hear him yell. Even in recent seasons, wherever he was sitting, you would know where Chet was, right? We would know that. But for decades, he became one of the university's most recognizable people, especially to the opponents that came in, right? And saw the show that he put on. You know, in Viejas, you can't throw a spear into the center of the court, but Chet could do the splits. That was equally as significant. And they would be looking. There's pictures that I've seen of the teams lined up for the national anthem, and they're watching Chet in the center of the court. So anyway, the overview of the program today, we're going to go through a lot of wonderful things, comments from some people that truly love Chet, have a lot to say about him, and share some memories about him. But before I do, I want to acknowledge, and I don't know if he's here today, but how many of you read the obituary for Chet that was in the San Diego Tribune, written by Ryan Finley? Who remembers that piece? Right. And I don't know if Ryan here today. If he's not, I don't know if his family's here or anybody here, but his father was the SID, the Sports Information Director here at San Diego State. Okay, so, but to see him, I don't even know if he was born back when I was coaching. He was very young. But he wrote a beautiful piece, so much history there. Just Google that article, and I think what we'll do is we'll get that for you so you can all read it. But so many memories are in that. So right now, as we take this trip down memory lane, I just thought, coming into here today, how many coaches since 1979, how many hundreds of coaches. You're going to hear a lot about basketball today, but Chet was everywhere, wasn't he? It wasn't just about basketball. Any football people here? Oh, come on now. We got to support the football team too. All right. And you know why? Because Chet supported football and he supported women's sports. He was literally everywhere he went. And but think about the thousands of players that knew Chet, and one that wanted to be here today. Michael Cage did want to be here, but he's doing the color commentary for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and you know where he was yesterday. And I know it would have been a tough trip for him to come, but he just wanted to let everybody know how much he loved Chet. Okay, but for me, I remember Chet as what I would call the minister of motivation. And here's why, because I was one of those coaches. You know, I came here in 1980 to coach here at San Diego State from Detroit. And when I left, I was an assistant coach with the Pistons, coached at the University of Detroit with Dick Vitale, worked with Dick for 6 years, and then came out here and drove a Ryder truck and pulled our car and had a 2-year-old sitting behind. My wife cried for 250 miles. because she's the oldest of 10 children, you see. But then we get here and everything's beautiful, and the beauty of this is the people that we met along the way. I came in Smokey's second season. That first season that Chet lived through, they were 6-21. Now, I just want you to think about how many of you fans were there during the Smokey Gaines era. And you understand those, when you go through a losing season, it's not easy. But Chet was there. Our first season, we won 15-12. We had one of the biggest turnarounds in the country. But some of the things I remember, players, Tony Gwynn was our point guard. Michael Cage was a freshman. The age of Cage began. But on the court, who remembers the tunnel? Yeah. And Chet was leading the way with he came one day and said, could we create a tunnel that the team could come through to come onto the court at the sports? And I said, yeah, could you bring everybody down? Because that was how many people were in the stand. We didn't have a lot at that time, right? But you formed the tunnel, and Chet led the way through the tunnel along with Monty Montezuma at that time. And it was so much fun, and the players remembered that. Who remembers the chicken? Come on now. And who remembers the candy man? Some of you alumni. Yeah, the deals, remember that? He had the bag of sea suckers that he would give to anybody that wanted one. So many memories. In that sports arena, we had 5 winning seasons, and then 85, we won the WAC tournament championship, went to the NCAA tournament for the last time until Coach Steve Fisher took the team. Now I want you to do the math. 85 to 2002. And here's what I'm trying to tell you right here. There was one winning season in 16 years of Aztec basketball. And Chet was the same person at every game. His spirit never wavered. Believe we could win before you all believe we could win. And you see it around the room, don't you? So that was Chet. He lived that, along with many of you who didn't get out on the court with him. But Chet did that for all of us. And then for me, I left coaching in 87, and till today, Chet would, and it was mentioned earlier by Don, he'd see me say, hey, coach. He'd always say, hey, coach. Radar's here too. Radar's the same way. I say, hey, coach. Never call me by my name. Always say, hey, coach. And for those that know anything about the Jackie Robinson YMCA, who's been there? Who's been to the old one? Okay, who's been to the new one? Okay, so there's a brand new state-of-the-art Y. I raised $40 million to build it. But and this is where Chet had a day job. Did you know where he worked? He worked for the city of San Diego in the developmental services department. And if you've ever permits, and if you any builders in here? Come on, now that's exactly what I'm talking about, because one day when we started the project, I'm going through there, and all those horror stories you hear about how long it's going to take and how they're going to, all those things. All I know is I'm walking through the halls there and all these cubicles, and all of a sudden I hear, hey, coach. And I turn around, and it's Chet. And I'm going to tell you, I swear to God, I'll say this today. If it wasn't for Chet, there's no way in the world we could have got that thing pushed through like we did. Yeah. You talk about an angel in the outfield. We had an advocate. We had somebody that was really pushing it, because there's some folks in that permit department that kind of like to, let themselves be known. Like there's a creek that ran through the Y, and they told me I had to develop the creek too. I said, how's that our creek? Choice Creek does not belong to the Jackie Robinson YMCA, but they wanted it done. But I'll tell you what, Chet pushed, and he let people know, and we got that thing built in record time. And I just thank him for this. So when you drive by that Y, just keep that memory of Chet in mind if you can. So our first speaker today is somebody that I truly love, because she's very active on Facebook. Who's on Facebook here? Tell the truth. Put your hands up if you're on Facebook. Because there's a lot of Aztec stuff on Facebook and a lot of things going on. But Sarah Easton right now, she's been in the pep band. So that song that you heard, that song that you heard, she'd be playing that song, and she was part of the group here, and she was probably among the best of friends of Chet Carney. Let's welcome Sarah right now as she tells her special story. Talk real loud in this mic, especially this little one.
So, Coach here seems to think that I need a microphone to speak loudly. So some of you don't know that that's not true. What I'm up here to share, Aztecs, I race walked with him, travel, we did all kinds of stuff together, but I'm going to read something that was written by a friend that I made on the internet because, I worked at home and I had some extra time and stuff. And he was just somebody that the day Chet died, he was the first person who called me. And this guy, he is a New Mexico Lobo fan, and he's kind of their equivalent of Chet. He's a diehard Lobo fan, born and raised in Albuquerque. And this is an illustration of how Chet affected everyone, even though he wasn't closely associated with that person. This was just a guy on the internet. So this is from my friend Wes Henderson. He says, honoring a friend, not a rival. I didn't meet Chet on the court or the grass, not even while he did the flips or splits. We met out on the Pacific, paddleboarding near Coronado, while I was just trying to stay upright, laughing and talking about life and future adventures. School came later, friendship came first. Yes, he was San Diego State through and through. I was the unapologetic New Mexico Lobo, even Louis, if you catch my drift, he got to wear the Louis Lobo costume. The rivalry eventually showed up, but it was always the best kind. Fan-to-fan trash talk, competitive, passionate, and always delivered with that smile. One of the biggest, most genuine smiles you ever could see. What stood out most, though, had nothing to do with sports. Chet checked in on people. He remembered the little things. Somehow he never missed a birthday, whether he'd known you for decades or met you once. You were getting that have fun on your birthday message. This Lobo misses that smile deeply. He had one that could fill any room with happiness, better yet, Qualcomm, Snapdragon, or VA Haas, with happiness and brighten anyone's day. He was a friend and someone I, Wes, was lucky enough to get to know. Thank you to every one of you for allowing this New Mexico Lobo to share a few words about Chet. He was truly one of a kind, someone we could always count on. Chet became an even more incredible person because of the people around him supported him, each in their own way. Whatever connection you had with him, that support mattered, and it made Chet who he was to all of us. From the court to the grass, from flips to the splits, you were the original Montezuma Mesa Magic Show. Paddle on, Aztec. 1, 2, 3. We'll finish that when we meet again.
Oh, yes, we want to frame that, don't we? That's good news. Who's been to a Lobo game? In Albuquerque. Yeah. I know you coaches have. Not an easy place to play, right? But I'm going to tell you one thing, to get that kind of respect from an opponent from the University of New Mexico is a beautiful thing. Let's give that letter a real big hand. And Sarah, we appreciate all that you do and continue to do for Aztec Nation. Let's give her a real big hand. So our next speaker is legendary in the Frisbee world. Yes, he is. He's a world champion Frisbee player. Frisbee golf, but he worked at San Diego State for many years. Started as a young man. And right now, he's going to tell you some stories about Chet that you all really appreciate. Let's welcome Jim Herrick to the stage.
Thank you, Coach. Good afternoon. Those are some nice stories from Michael, Sarah, and I want to thank Sarah and Don for giving me the opportunity to talk about Chet and how he exemplified the very best of Aztec alumni, where I had the pleasure to be alumni director for quite a few years. Because Chet surely did exemplify the very best of our alumni. You know, not perhaps in the way that the university would go about quantifying alumni engagement these days, but those of you here today know that Chet did more to connect our alumni to San Diego State University than any university administrator ever did. Most of us didn't know Chet when he began cartwheeling his way into our hearts. Yet, with consistent and persistent and insistent commands, he wore a path on the soul of our collective psyche, and it's a deep groove of passion for San Diego State. You know, one spends a little time in the alumni business wondering how to do what Chet could do. You hear it every year. People say, oh, we're going to start a new tradition. A lot of people like to start new traditions. Well, that ain't how traditions work. Sort of like the fans in the stands, they don't make noise because the scoreboard asks them to. And the alumni don't flock to the university because the Alumni Association sends them a ton of emails begging them to get involved. As far as I know, Chet never demanded that people become lifetime members of the SDSU Alumni Association. He had a season ticket. He didn't insist that folks donate to the school or mentor students or buy gear from Aztec shops. Yet Chet accomplished what so many marketeers over the last 50 years never could. It was as if he knew that with some consistent love and encouragement, we would all find our own way to loyalty and support of the school. So, how did it all happen? Well, from where I sat, which was at all the games that everybody here went to, and if you added up all the games everybody in this room went to, it would be a big number. But I think he built bridges. I think he built a bridge from Claude Gilbert to Brady Hoke and Rocky Long and Sean Lewis. I think he built a bridge from Ernest Riggins to Stacey Terry. And I think he built a bridge from Smokey Gaines and Michael Brunker to Steve Fisher and Brian Dutcher. And along the way, things got better. The facilities got better. The swag got better. The scoreboards got better. And the teams got better. And the game day experience got better. For some, it's a comfortable seat and a craft beer. It's the antics of the show and the I Believe chant. It's the Simba can and a t-shirt toss or a picture with Carlos. The I Believe chant, the diamonds, the grandmas, and our incredible dance and cheer team, and our unbelievable Aztec marching band and Aztec pep bands. But try as we do, it's nearly impossible to distill and bottle up the secret sauce of visceral fan connectivity. And that was the magic that Chet brought. It was Chet who punctuated the type of atmosphere that attracts a Kawhi or a Malachi. It was Chet who could join us and coaxed us and coalesced us and coached us up into a mighty united force. It was Chet who was cheering the university every step of the way. Now, is that to say that all our athletic dominance, all those bowl games, all the incredible March Madness we so enjoyed, was all that due to Chet? Well, all I know is Chet's been an Aztec tradition for nearly half a century. And Chet, since a lot of us here believe you to be monitoring these proceedings, please know that we all are eternally grateful for how you so masterfully nurtured our passion for San Diego State. Rest in peace, our friend.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good job, Harry.
Jim will be leaving soon for his 50th college reunion from Cornell University. Kind of sounded like a Cornell man, didn't he? Yes, he did. That was good stuff. But Jim, we appreciate all that you've done during your season of service here at San Diego State University. So we talked earlier about those lean years. There were 3 coaches between Smokey Gaines and Steve Fisher, who's about to speak to us right now. And as I mentioned, just imagine what it takes to keep coming back over all those seasons. And the guy that helped us come back did it. And there's a quote that I often hear, and I just want you to kind of resonate on this for a second. It says, "Joy is the settled assurance that God is in control of all the details of my life, the quiet confidence that everything will be all right." And so for all the Chets, all of you that kept coming back, God did deliver, and Steve Fisher did make it all right. Let's welcome Steve Fisher.
Thank you, Michael. Wait here just a second.
Welcome to my
I have to tell a quick story about Michael here. The first guy our office when Dutch and I came was in Cox Arena, which is now the A-House. We didn't have this. And so Michael came and talked to me. He said, "Steve," he said, "I want to tell you, you have the Taj Mahal where you are." He said, "When we were here, I knew our contract was going to get extended when they knocked the wheels off the trailer, which was our office." True story, right?
That's
True
right.
story.
That is a true story.
He also was the guy that kept Dick Vitale getting thrown out of every game that he played in when he was his assistant.
Okay.
Thank you, Michael. I don't know who's responsible for all of this, but I grazed. I walked around. I only got through half of it and learned about Chet a great deal more than I did when I walked in here. I didn't know he went to Crawford High School. And I saw him at a young age in high school. And then I saw him as a cheerleader at San Diego State. And I smiled and reflected on a whole host of things. And I'm not going to talk long because I know you got a lot of people that are talking, but I remember back when Coach Dutcher, when the Fishers and the Dutchers came to town, in March of '99. And it wasn't long after that when our office manager, Arnold Boldo, where's AB? Arnold, raise your hand. AB knew more about where all the bodies were buried than anybody that we had to talk to at San Diego State. So he knew that I like to have a schedule and didn't like to have impromptu stuff. But there was one day when AB walked in, he said, "Coach, I have someone you have to meet and talk with." And I looked at AB. I said, "Okay." I knew he wouldn't steer me wrong. And it was Chet. It was Chet. This was in a few weeks of our being hired. And he came in and did what he's done for 50 years with all of us. He lit up the room one-on-one with me in terms of, what can I do to help? We're going to get this thing rolling. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be a part of it. And it was about we. And I looked at him and I smiled. I said, "I know we are going to get this done, and you are going to be a big part of it." I remember saying that. Within a week after that, he sent a box of shirts to the office. And the shirts were, and I had to be reminded, I looked at the note that I had sent him, and it's over here. And it's on the shirts it said, "Not in my house." Not in my house. And we wore them, coaches and players alike, with pride. Not in my house. And it took a while. I remember our first year here. And I told the story, and I said it with love and not disrespect for who we had, but we needed better players. So it was Dutch and I running the team. Everybody else was out recruiting every single day to recruit. And at games, the first game we played, there were a lot more people than in this room here. There were more auxiliary people than there were fans. But who was there? Chet was there. And Chet had a way of making his interest. And when he got there, he was the only guy for about 2 or 3 years that got a standing ovation when he walked out on the floor. And I don't know whether Michael said that his first year they won 6 games or that was before he came. Where is he? Rucker, did he leave? Did you win 6 and then after that you won 15? He was 6-21. Our first year, we were 5-26. Our first year, Dutch and I. So it was lean times, but Czech was a constant. Czech was a staple. And I remember early in our non-conference season, we were playing a game, and at a timeout, Chet comes out, and he's doing those cartwheels and finalize it with splits. And I'm in the huddle trying to tell our players what we need to do in the next 4-minute segment, and not a man was looking at me, but they're all watching Chet. And really, out of the corner of my eye, I was too. I was also. He had a charisma about him that showed he cared. We had a slogan, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And he cared. He cared about others. He cared about people. He wanted people to be happy. I never met him when he didn't have a smile on his face. He is truly Aztec for life, super fan, Mr. San Diego State, and he would always make a point to come over at every game and say hello before the game. He'd make a point, good luck, we're going to get this one, coach. We're going to get this one. And this is why the room is filled today. This is why he will be missed, but his legacy will live on for a long, long time with all of us. He's what we tried to sell when we came here. A pride and a passion, a belief, a hope, and a love for his university. He was San Diego State. He meant so much to our basketball program that I can't tell you. And I see you've got his picture on your shirt, and he will be remembered forever as the guy that helped turn San Diego State into a basketball program. And he is immensely proud of that. Coach Dutcher has done such an amazing job since he took over to take us to new heights. We sold what he did. When we recruited your son, it was come, close your eyes and dream about hanging a Final Four banner. And people that heard about that, they thought it was fool's gold. They were just saying that. And if you believe and if you hope, if you have the love and passion, it could be done. And that's what Dutch and his squad did when all of us were there as we played for the national championship. Yeah. And this is where we belong. This is the arena that we belong in. This is what you're so proud of to be affiliated with. And once again, like Jim talked about, he was a connector. He connected people. He had that ability. I have a 12-year-old grandson that when he first started coming, he couldn't walk, but he wanted to have a picture with Chet. He wanted his mom to get a picture with Chet, and Chet obliged graciously. So I'll close with saying he won't be there to do the backflips and the splits, but he will be there with us as we continue to grow the program. Thank you guys for being here today. Go Aztecs. I'll see you. Take care.
Now, hold on. Get up on your feet for Coach Fisher. Give him a...
I got to get out of here. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't get better than that, does it?
Tell them why.
Doesn't get better than that, but I've got something for you. Now turn your eyes to the screens for the story about the finger.
Raise one finger. And when your teammates followed, it started a movement. That movement became a tradition and continues to this day. Although these fans have no idea how or when it began, we do because we were there. Chet, this tradition is just one part of your amazing legacy. And whenever I see it on TV, it makes me proud because I know your leadership lives on. Happy 70th birthday, Chet.
Long. I'm going to take care of a little bit of housekeeping, then we got just a few more things, and then there we go. First of all, read your notes. First of all, the Alumni Association in the library, which you walked past as you entered, in the Allen Bailey Library, there is now a long-term memorial of Chet in there. Okay. Thank you, alumni. And it happens to be, the library happens to be open today right now, so if you want to wander in there and check it out, you might also see some younger band members up on display in there. Anyway, Alumni Association was gracious enough to hold on this long-term memorial for Chet. We're also, honestly, we're in kind of a fundraising activity to set up some kind of paver out front, out by Monty, out in front, set up a paver. So there's places where you guys can get involved with your pocketbooks and try and help out there, and also help support this activity here today, which was basically self-funded by a few of us. So appreciate your help there too. As you might have known, Chet might have crocheted a little bit. If you didn't know that, you know that now. Out on the tables out there in the hallway, there's a ton of Chet's one-of-a-kind paraphernalia, and if something speaks to you, please take it. Please take it. We don't want to take them home. Please take it. There's a lot of it. Additionally, sometime after about 3:30, well, actually, most everything you see in this room, not the people, not the chairs, but all the displays and stuff, it was in my wife's and my living room this morning, okay? And we don't want it in our living room later today. So there's some items that have already been tagged with reserve sticker, etc. But anyway, honestly, if there's almost anything you see out there that you're interested, after about 3:30, we're going to start breaking it down. We're open till 5. We don't want to cut anyone off. But again, if you see something you're interested in, please take it and enjoy it from Chet. All right. I think I'm going to go ahead and introduce, we've got our amazing band again. They're going to play a song, and there's going to be a video.
Give it up for your Aztec marching band, yes. Gotta love them, gotta love them. So in that Ryan Finley article I talked about, there was a mention that he made, and it said that San Diego State's basketball coaches, first Fisher and then Brian Dutcher, made sure that Chet had tickets for all home games. Would anybody here like to have a ticket for all home games? Oh, yes, there's no doubt about it. But listen, I just want to tell you one thing. We heard great comments from Coach Fisher, and to know that Brian had for many years been that coach in waiting, and he waited, and he waited, but that's not always easy, because moving over that one seat is not always easy. But he did, and he took us to the promised land. Yes, he did. But what he did, though, too, is it's everything you heard about the spirit of the Aztecs, Aztec Nation, what it was all about. Who followed that team all the way to the end? You remember that, don't you? And now as the game has changed, yeah, the game has changed. It's not like, well, we just bring you in for a recruiting trip and show you a video and get you to sign. It's got to be more than that. And all I'm telling you right now, before Coach Dutcher gets up here and talks about Chet, I want you to understand how important it is for all of us to be in tune as to what's needed to build and maintain a successful basketball program so that we will return to the promised land. What do you think? Yeah. Okay. Because that's what Chet would do. He would do that. Right now, let's welcome Coach Brian Dutcher.
Thank you. I thought it was going to be hard following Coach Fisher onto the bench. I learned a long time ago, speaking after him is never a wise decision, but here I am. Obviously, I've been here a long time, 26 years on the Mesa. When I got here, no joke, this would be the size of a crowd, a home game right here. And many of you were there for the first games, but it was just electric to see Chet there. It was electricity. The guy was high voltage, and which is great when you get here. I mean, this is 50 years ago he was doing this. And so when he finished, administratively, people were like, well, yeah, he's pretty good. Let's let him keep doing it. So he kept doing it, and then 10 more years passed, and then 20 years passed, and we flip administrations, and they're sitting, do we need this guy in the court? What's going on? Who is this guy? Because most of these administrations, they don't come from San Diego State. So they got to learn who Chet is, and they said, well, okay, we'll let him do a few more cartwheels out there, the whole time thinking he might split his pants. And as he got louder and he got rounder, he kept doing it. And then we're talking 30 and 40 years from when he finished college, he's still out there doing it. And the guy's amazing. And I worried a little bit when he took the hard hat off, he started wearing the macrame hats. I was like, is he still as tough as he used to be? And yes, he is. Yes, he is. The guy like macrame. And I can't believe how many hats he's got out there. It's incredible. And who's wearing one now? I see a couple of them out there. Unbelievable. So Chet was nothing but energy. And I remember when Coach Fisher would talk about the team, and he would tell each player on the team, you're responsible for two things as a player, the only two things you can control, which is your energy and your effort. And you just apply that to Chet. How much energy did the guy have? He was nothing but energy. All the time, 24 hours a day, not just at the games, and everything he did. And how about the effort he put into it? He showed up every game. Bad teams, good teams, in between teams, he was always there. Football and basketball. I remember being at the first football games, hoping that this guy on the field would make his way to a basketball game. I didn't know at the time. And there he was, all those years. And we were so fortunate to have him there supporting his Aztecs. And he went to school here. I bleed Aztec red. Both my kids went to school at San Diego State, and Jan and I have loved every minute we've been here. But this was a guy that went to school here and lived it every day. And at the end of our banquets every year, it was like a tradition. You see these street signs over here on that far table? If you haven't, you will. Every player on our team that finished his career had a sign waiting for him. Tremaine Davis Street, Brian Carwell Street, big green sign with their name on it. Every year at the end of the banquet, Chet would come up with a sign for every player out of his own pocket. He just wanted to do it for him. That might be the only mercy of him not being here, is I'm turning over rosters so quickly he might go broke doing street signs. I got so many players coming and going. But the guy had the most generous heart in the world, and anybody he touched remembered him. That's why the room is full right now, and that's why we're streaming online to the people that can't be here. So what better way to honor a guy than the traditions that we continue to uphold? All right, I'm going to shoot the free. We'll be ready. Here you go. And how about a 1, 2, 3? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. He didn't care how long you said it. He was going to do it 2 or 3 times. So, Chet, we're going to miss you, my friend. Thank you for all your loyal years to your university, your teams, and your family. Chet, we'll miss you. I know you're looking down on us, and we'll all see you soon, my friend. Thank you, everybody.
Great job, Dutch. Great job. Great job. So what we're going to do right now is we've heard so much, but who's seen this at other schools now? Have you noticed it? How about high schools? Any high schools doing it? Oh, yes, that's it. But how many of us have watched the game on TV? And we're at the line, and we're doing this. Tell the truth. You know you. I do. Okay, right now. So let me we're getting ready to get closer to the closing. Time is of this great event, but once again, we're going to be here probably until 5 if necessary. We've got a couple other things to do before we leave. But if you haven't seen everything around the room, I would urge you to do so. And just remember, this is the tip of the iceberg. Who went to Chet's house and saw all of that stuff? I'm not going to say he was a hoarder. But if you look at the condition of everything here, he was a collector. And I'm looking at this, his house could be a historical place or something. I was going to say, you beat me to that punch. The bathtubs and the toilets and all the stuff he has. But so many great things, so many great memories. But please stand if Chet impacted your life in some way. Band, it's on you. remain standing. Remain standing for one last time. Are you ready? Fingers up. Tip it in. 1, 2, 3. Look what you did. Clap it up for Chet. So this is the end of our formal tribute, and we'll have the opportunity for many of you to speak. I think the Sons of Montezuma are going to be going around with a microphone, interviewing people. If you're so willing to do so, we hope that you do. But in closing, my final comment is simply this. When I think about Chet, there's a relationship that I think I could connect to with the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And he's been known for a whole lot of things and a whole lot of quotes, but a quote he once said, and I want you to just listen carefully to these words, because this describes everything we see in this room today. We have before us a glorious opportunity to inject a new dimension of love into the veins of our civilization. It's never been a more critical time than that, right? Just think about it, inject a new dimension of love into the veins of our civilization. Didn't Chet do that for us? Yeah. He said the end is reconciliation. He was about bringing people together. We've heard that. The end is redemption, but here's the key. The end is building the beloved community. And if there's a more beloved community than what we have here today, what we have over at Viejas, where we have anywhere where Chet was, that's what Chet was all about, is building a beloved community. You all have been a big part of that, and the biggest question is, who's next? You see, who's going to be the next one to do it? So often we come to events like this and we talk about their wonderful, beautiful lives, and everybody says, yeah, we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. But now's the time to deliver. We need to step up in big time ways, not only for San Diego State basketball, but also for our community and the world. That's what Chet was all about. He was bigger than just this, okay? Let's keep that in mind, but tell everybody all about what he was here. So right now we're going to break. We're going to get over here to the cake. We're going to cut the cake in the back of the room, and hopefully you have a big piece of cake, but please look around. And once again, remember, if there's anything here, correct me if I'm wrong, if there's anything here that you want to take away with you, I know Radar's over there looking at all the Crawford stuff. So if there's anything that's got Crawford on it, Radar's got his eyes on it. But if there's anything on these tables, in the back, well, all the crochet, everything here, if there's anything here, I mean, some amazing things. I mean, I've raised enough money to know this would be a good auction right here, right? I mean, if you want to put some money, hit that QR code and donate to that fund that they're collecting on. But please take everything so that the organizers don't have to take it back with them, all right? God bless you all. Thank you. How you been?
Fingers up, no dip it in.
Mates followed, it started a movement. That movement became a tradition and continues to this day. Although these fans have no idea how or when it began, we do because we were there. Chet, this tradition is just one part of your amazing legacy. And whenever I see it on TV, it makes me proud because I know your leadership lives on.
Sidelines of games in his custom hard hat because it said that you had to put in the work in to build a program, had always that custom jersey, cheering on the team in each and every game. And I guarantee if you've attended a basketball or football game in the last, 40 years, you've probably seen him cheering and doing flips. Carney, San Diego State alum, San Diego native, certainly will be missed. 70 years old, but energy.
Okay. Can you hear this? Perfect. Okay. All right. Hello. So my name is John Hausner. I just wanted to share that I first met Chet in the early 80s when we both worked at a company called FedMart. It is no longer in business now. It went out of business at maybe 1983 or 4. But I just wanted to share that, you know, Chet was always the same guy, even back in the early 80s, that he is today. And, you know, he taught me a lot about the retail business when we were working there. You know, FedMart was one of those big box stores that had pretty much everything you wanted in it. But I still just remember Chet being the friendly guy, that always willing to help. Any question you had was always there. And then coming to San Diego State, saw him at football games and basketball games, and you know, that's my story. Just wanted to share the FedMart legacy. Thanks. Thanks, guys.
Nicely done.
All right. Take care.
Take care.